get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? Keep telling me it's alright. How could I be so blind? I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there?
And this is the Football Fan Zone, our radio show, Newcastle Fans TV, on Nova Radio Northeast 102.5. And now this weekend, it has been the international break, so generally speaking, news would be fairly quiet around this time of the week, but there has been lots happening during this week. And we will go through that in a moment, but first of all, I'd like to introduce myself, Rob Spirrell. In the building, we have Carl Thompson, Lee Lawler and Paul Rutter, and we thank you to Ivan for sorting out some technical difficulties before going on air. And his show's great, by the way, Ivory Thing on Sunday late afternoons. Okay, so talking this week, we have Michael Owen. He has been promoting his new autobiography, which is out now in shops, but Newcastle fans have not taken kindly at all to his comments that he has made whilst promoting his book. And then yesterday, England thrashed Bulgaria by 4-0. A Harry Kane hat-trick followed by Raheem Sterling helped England to victory. We'll be discussing how England got on, as well as the internationals that Newcastle have that have been playing this weekend, like Martin Dubravka and Fabian Schär. And then after that, once I have found my place, there we go, I found my place in my notes again. Watford did something incredibly bizarre yesterday. They sacked their manager, Javi Gracia, and then reappointed Quique Sanchez-Flores, who was sacked following the 2015-16 season. And then we move on to the under-23s and the Newcastle women's side. So lots to get through. Lots to get through indeed, but there is only one place to start, and that is with Michael Owen, the former Newcastle United captain, has been letting out some key quotes from his autobiography whilst promoting it, and they have not been complimentary in the slightest towards Newcastle United, especially towards Newcastle fans. So, it's on this topic especially where we don't know where to begin. So, Paul, you're really good at these sort of things when the red mist descends, and you're really good for words. So
Ofcom won't be happy if the red mist does descend.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Yeah, exactly. I found it unbelievable. I mean, he's gone after Shearer, who was obviously an icon up here, criticised him, but at the end of the day, there was one man. I mean, it may have had the falling out or whatever that happened, a decade ago, but one man has kept a dignified silence, and one man has just tried to make every penny possible off it, Rob. Disgusting how he spoke about the Newcastle fans. From a captain who saw over a relegation with a team that was absolutely full of big names, superstars.
I remember.
Awful.
I remember at that time, people were saying that we were too big a club to go down.
Too big. We had too many good players in. We had
He was one
Dubs,
of them.
Owens, and all this sort of thing. But it's just disgusting. It's just amazing to me how he's trying to rewrite history, and he's trying to discredit the likes of Paul Ferris, who've come out and said stuff previously about him.
And one thing that has certainly taken the biscuit, if you like, with regards to the 2008-09 relegation season is the quote that you can see on your screen now. Michael Owen on Alan Shearer, he said, "When you analyse it, it all makes sense. Shearer's record as manager in the last 8 games of that 08-09 season was dire. Lost 5, drew 2, won 1. These are hardly godlike stats." Now, there's a lot of...
Oh, Rob, I could easily go with some stats that show Michael Owen isn't a godlike stat. Yeah, stats can be made to look any which way. As you well know, you are a stat man on the channel. Stats can make you look good, stats can make you look not so good.
And in my case, stats can make me look nerdy. Stats can, it can really give you, let out a lot of fascinating conclusions, like, I really need to get out more.
Well, you said it.
Yeah, it's what you've been thinking.
But no, at the end of the day, get back onto Owen. You can pull stats each way that you want to. You can make glossy dossiers to send around Premier League clubs to try and sell yourself and make yourself look great. But the facts of the matter was, he was our captain. He let us down at the time. And you think you would let just sleeping dogs lay. But obviously with that big of a club, that he's decided to get all of the attention on his book by criticising us. I mean, he says that we're not a big club, this, that and the other, but we must be if we're getting all this attention and all these sales for his books.
Yeah, so moving on to you, Kyle, bring you into the discussion. It says that we're not a big club, we're just a big stadium with a lot of fans. Now, for me, big is a subjective term. I mean, you can say that we're a big club when you think that we're a top flight team, and also we're big in when you compare us to a team like Mansfield Town, for example. But what did you make of those particular comments from Owen?
It's just awful, mate. I woke up to his the quotes from his book, and I'm just thinking, you've got some neck, mate, to come out and say what you've said. Because some of the things that have been said about Michael Owen over the past couple of years have been proved to be correct, and he comes out with this utter gibberish about Alan Shearer, about Newcastle. At the end of the day, we're such a small club, but he used to sell his book. He used Alan Shearer, who's apparently such a fraud and this and that, but he used him to sell his book and everything like that. So he can backtrack now and say whatever he wants. He might touch on later about the fact that he backtracked on everything that he said, saying, "Oh, I loved it up here and blah blah blah." But sorry, for me, Michael Owen is a liar and he's a fraud of a person, and even worse as a footballer, because he paints himself to be this fantastic Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, you did that before you went to Real Madrid.
He's got a personality, remember?
I'm sorry, but from football and ability to punditry to just
joke of a pundit as well.
To a bloke, he's just a joke. Full stop.
People have said though, Kyle, the only team that Michael Owen has ever been on is
Team Michael Owen.
Team Michael Owen.
Yeah.
And that, I think, speaks volumes with some of the people who have come out and have said that. He's a complete and utter weasel, no backbone, won't do it to your face, will do it over social media. Disgusting. And at the end of the day, who's buying this book? Nobody in Liverpool likes him. Nobody in Manchester likes him.
Every club he's played for, the fan base don't like him.
Real Madrid, you stayed there a year, so they won't even remember you. And Newcastle.
That was in the Galacticos era when you had Ronaldo, Figo. Those are the players that they'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raul as well. Yeah.
Oh,
no. And if Owen wants godlike stats on Alan Shearer, so 206 goals for the club record goal scorer. Hence we have a statue of him outside St James's Park.
Not one trick pony.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all Owen had. His pace, that was it. When his pace went, he was washed up and he was finished. Shearer, when his pace went, he still continued to score goals in a team that was
even after major injuries. Owen after major injuries didn't score goals. Michael Owen after injuries didn't contribute to the teams he played for, whereas Alan Shearer had 3 major injuries in his career, still scored 260 Premier League goals and 206 goals for Newcastle. So that's the full stop.
The only statue Michael Owen has is his daughter's Barbie doll that stands there in the bedroom.
Okay, but yeah, thanks for that, Lee.
You're welcome. My useful insight knowledge there.
It's been a long
Now-
day.
Oh, it does mean that.
That's the nearest thing he's going to get a statue.
I think we might have gone. Have we lost our sound?
No, we're still here.
I don't
Keep
think
going.
so, but
Still here, Rob.
but the noise through my headphones has gone off. So yeah, I think we're still broadcasting.
We are,
I hope-
we're still
I hope we are
live.
at least.
We're still live to YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hello,
We're not having any
everyone.
Problems. Hi.
Just
I think-
we're live on 5 platforms. We don't stop here. So as you try and fix these issues, Rob, I will
I
have a
don't know
little
how.
have a chat
Ivan's
about
gone.
Michael Owen. So obviously everyone saw my video. I wasn't best pleased. There was a
with the non-irritating beeps. That video.
yeah, because there was a lot of swear words, and some people might not have liked that.
Ofcom.
But look, I think I expressed how most Newcastle fans felt, and I'm not standing up and speaking on behalf of Newcastle fans, but I could bet there's loads of other Newcastle fans who felt what we did at that stage. You know, everyone was raging. It's like, why are they coming out saying that for? He's using Alan Shearer's name to sell a book.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
He's
Paul.
good character. At the end of the day, it's disgusting. If you had a problem 10 years ago or 12 years ago, whatever it is, it should have been said then. But no, you've just waited on it and you've twisted it. And you've got your PR people, and in some aspects, it's worked because it's got attention. But to me, it's totally and utterly the wrong sort of attention. He's a washed-up footballer. He's a terrible pundit, and who's going to buy? I mean, certainly nobody in the North East.
Yeah, you can add to the list. And another thing you can add to the list is that he was captain of Newcastle. And you just think Newcastle United's first relegation from the Premier League. And if you're the captain of that side, surely it would make more sense to maybe just try and brush it under the carpet, pretend it never happened, especially when you're writing an autobiography on it.
Jeremy will be next.
His second autobiography, his second book, by the way.
Second autobiography.
Going on, I
yes.
think is interesting.
He's going after Roald Dahl, who had 3.
It's not even that. Rob, he's coming away from Newcastle. He's attacked Beckham. He's had a little pop at Steven Gerrard as well, and as well as Liverpool.
Has he got
didn't he
any
have a go?
friends?
Didn't he have a go at Marcus Rashford as well? Or was that Roy Keane who had a go at him?
Well, Roy Keane had a go.
Keane.
Roy Keane had a go. Roy Keane's a
He's
horrible.
definitely had a go at someone.
Roy Keane's a horrible bloke. Some of the stuff he said about Jonathan Walters recently is disgraceful.
Some of his actions with questionable actions with dogs as
But
well.
going back to
Going back to the captaincy, and I just think, what sort of captain allegedly refuses to play at least, or at least doesn't want to play, so he can focus on his self-obsession on his future? Surely it's more or less the duty of the captain to maybe put their self-obsession to one side and focus on the team. You know, when the team's in trouble, the captain is the one who should rally the troops, try and get morale up in a group of moraleless players.
It's Team Owen, isn't it? Comes down to Team Owen. That's all he cared about. Nothing to do with Newcastle at all.
The captain is the one who stands up and makes their voice heard, whereas he just...
I'm not sticking up for Owen, but do you reckon his claim about Freddie Shepherd has some part of truth in that? Because remember, he got injured for England in the World Cup, and he was hobbling on the sideline against Sweden, wasn't it? Because remember, Joe Cole scored that absolute wonder goal.
That worldie goal, yeah.
And then he didn't play all season, and that was just when them new laws come in that if you played for your country, you get a payout. And Freddie Shepherd, allegedly, you can see on your screen that he's turned around and said, Michael Owen, I'm not playing you because I'll lose out on a cup. Do you believe any of that?
I believe a percentage.
I probably believe.
Yeah,
this is the one. This is the one
little
thing
bit
that
of it.
one thing I'll probably believe more than what the others are.
Because at the end of the day, could be a bit of a business. Few
Few million.
Easy. With £125,000 a week.
He was giving him that as it was, the kind of wage he was on. He wanted more money. It just sums him up for me. And for the record, I don't believe that either. I don't believe anything Owen said in his second book.
Where even Freddie Shepherd's gone on record and said that Michael Owens is the biggest mistake that he's ever done at Newcastle.
Well, I said I would rather have a team, and this is something from me, of all Joslu's, right, than a team of Michael Owens, because at the end of the day, Joslu wasn't the best player, but he always gave 100% of what he had, which probably wasn't as much. And you'd always rather have that than an absolute weasel like Michael Owen, who was about as much use as a flip flop.
Yeah, so he badmouths Shearer, he badmouths the fans, and then he badmouths Kevin Keegan. Tries to put him in a bad light. He's certainly not doing anything to get into the good books of Newcastle fans, is he? So, a quote from his book about Kevin Keegan. He made me question my footballing ability for the first time in my life. It was a dark time in my career.
Keegan make him captain?
Did playing for Stoke not do that?
Yeah, 1 goal wonder. Someone's already said in the comments, 1 goal for Stoke, godlike stat.
Very good, very good. But yeah, you take players who have played under Kevin Keegan, and not a single one has gone public in saying that they didn't like working under him. A lot of them have done the opposite and said that they've gone public and said that they enjoyed working with him.
Indeed, how many people and from people you would much rather listen to, your Steve Watsons of the world, Lee Clarks of the world, and all that sort of thing. Saying positive things.
Funnily enough, I interviewed Steve Watson recently for my dissertation, and he was really all praise for Keegan. Shay Given in his autobiography that was released a couple of years ago.
Mick Laws as well, back on our channel, and he spoke absolutely glowingly, and just about how he was, how he made people feel. Some of the stuff that he did, even off the camera when he's inviting children in who aren't very well. Going up and above what was absolutely required, and then you've got people like Michael Owen, absolute.
So it's like it looks like he's gone through the whole majority of his career since leaving Liverpool. Yes, I know it's a little pop at Gerrard, but anything after that is all having a go at anybody who goes in his path.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, right? If you are you love Liverpool. Everything seems to be centred around Liverpool. At the end of the day, why then would you go and sign for Manchester United?
Exactly.
So that's end of argument. If I was a Liverpool supporter, I would have disowned you.
It's like one of our own. I know Lee Clark's on it, right? But it's like a godlike figure, like because he's banging in goals. It's like a Shearer going, or a Beardsley even back in the day, jumping ship and going to Sunderland on a free as well.
Yeah, and it would never ever have happened, because at the end of the day, Shearer's got a moral compass, and he's got morals about him. I've described him in a certain way on our Facebook page, and I think that's rather apt. A skip rodent, shall we say?
Do you know? But
it's disgusting.
He talks about Shearer over and over. Has Shearer actually said anything over the years that he's actually pointed the finger and blamed him? I haven't seen.
No, and he's kept his counsel. He's kept his counsel. At the end of the day, he refused to play for the club. He was looking after his own interests. Team Owen. That contributed. It wasn't the only thing, but that contributed in our relegation. Has Shearer come out and publicly slated him? He could have, but he hasn't. And then Owen's waited his time, and I just think it shows.
He's got a book to sell.
Yeah, lack of class.
I will use Alan Shearer's name to sell my book. That's basically what it should be.
Nobody cares about him.
It should never mind being called Reboot. It should be called Boot Up Something Else.
Let's. We have a quote from Michael Owen, which we will play through the system. So yes, this is what Michael Owen had to say.
But in terms of the Alan Shearer stuff, no, I knew that would make headlines, and to be honest, I'm pretty surprised it hasn't come out before, because we haven't spoke for a long period of time now, sadly, and we were big mates prior to obviously him taking charge at Newcastle, but that was sort of the turning point really, and since then we haven't been big mates, let's say, and I know the reasons why, and I've obviously said those in the book, which are disappointing, and obviously in my case, totally unfounded and untrue, but he has his reasons, and obviously that's where we are, I guess. A few years ago, I knew I was going to be sort of in the same vicinity, in the same room, or doing the TV or something with him, and I thought about speaking to him then, but he's a strong personality, and so am I, and I'm not going to change his mind. To get to the very top of your profession, I think you need to have unbelievable drive and confidence and whatever. But one of the best things or the most important things that you need as well, is to be able to filter out anything that's going to have a negative impact on your mind. And if Alan Shearer's come to the conclusion that I didn't fancy playing in the last game against Aston Villa because I was worried about getting injured and subsequently worried about my next move, then if that's what's in his mind and that's how he's overcome his disappointment of not being a success as Newcastle manager, then that's fine in a way. It's almost like a grieving period, and sometimes you've got to blame someone else. I've done it loads of times in my life. Do you think I come off a pitch and thought, I played rubbish today, it's all my fault? No way. You'll never be a footballer if you're like that. You think, oh, the right back can't pass for Toffee, the midfielder's not creative enough, my strike partner's not seeing my run, whatever you think. But very rarely, if you're right at the top of your game, do you blame yourself. And as I say, it's a compliment to Alan Shearer. I think, he's had to find some way of not blaming himself, I guess, for what happened at Newcastle. I find it hard that he's come to the decision to blame me for it when I was hardly fit in the period he took over. And then I actually put my body on the line for him in the last game when really I was a week or two away from being fit from a groin injury. But I went on the bench and I came on for the last sort of 15, 20 minutes or whatever it was. So, I get it. I don't agree with it. And more to your point and more to your question, I don't think that he will ever change his mind or change his view. So, I almost think that bit's pointless.
So that was the comments from Michael Owen. It's difficult where to begin. We talked about just before we played that clip that Michael Owen using the name of Alan Shearer to promote the book, and it's a lot of promotion sells copies depending on that. And then the journalist Henry Winter sort of butted in to call Shearer and Owen. He called upon them to call a truce. And Owen had the cheek to respond, "I don't understand how it got to this." What are your thoughts, Lee? He's just...
Well, Henry Winter is one of the few national journalists that I actually respect. I see his point. Doesn't look very good.
It's not nice to see two people bickering. But you gotta think, if...
I see legends lately.
Mm.
But then Luke Edwards, who's part of the Telegraph, he made a great point saying that Shearer's never said nothing over the years.
Mm.
Why is Michael Owen all of a sudden? Because this is, remember, it's his second book. He's had his autobiography, and this is like his second one. I personally think it's just a money thing. It's trying to stay relevant. I mean...
Yeah, because his horses aren't exactly doing great, are they?
His horses aren't doing great. He's not on BT.
He's not very good at golf.
He's not on BT Sport much. I watch a lot of football, and he's not on that any... Well, he's on, but he's not. It's probably once every couple of months. He's not on often on that. But I think it's just a money thing. I just think he's trying to make a quick few bob, and I cannot stand it when he says, "Read my book, read my book, read my book." On his gravestone, it's going to say, "Michael, read my book, Owen."
It's a bit deeply.
Yeah, that is pretty deeply.
Well, he will be
deeply by Lee.
He will be deep. He'll be 6 foot.
Yeah. Well, they better bury him 10 foot under just to make sure.
Put some cement over it.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here now, Kyle? Of course, do we just draw a line in the sand, or do we maybe, call on people, not to buy the book?
I mean, shout out to the back page, just off Chinatown. They sell all sorts. They sell autobiographies from all footballers. They're a fantastic shop. I shop them all the time. I got the shirt from here actually, from that shop, and they refuse to sell that book. So
other retro shirts are available.
Other retro shirts are available from that shop. But shout out to them.
From our shop,
because they're risking their business to not sell these books. I mean, they wouldn't sell many copies anyway, but it's just to take a stand that what you've done to Newcastle and the fan base is wrong. To say it was a step down, I mean, it is a step down for Real Madrid. For any player in the world, it is, but it doesn't need to be.
Stoke is after Man United, but he's not commenting on Stoke.
He's not commenting on that.
Did not slate Tony Pulis.
He slated Sam Allardyce.
I tell you something. It sums up the man. Have you seen the clip with Neville the Southall, the goalkeeper? Yeah. When he's coaching that young kid. That says everything you need to know about Michael Owen. Talking about himself in the third person.
Yeah, Neville shouts over his 30 Michael.
Yeah, well done, done. He's trying to build him up, and he's trying to literally take layers off him. He's got no morals.
Wasn't in some plane advert or something? No.
Oh, yeah, for Dubai for the golf thing. And again, I put that on our page. It was absolutely.
It was like
tacky.
red Leicester and cheddar put together. Too cheesy.
Oh goodness me! Apologies about the puns there, please, Fogg.
But then, let's bring this to a close. You can't help but feel that fans can justifiably feel angry towards Owen on the basis that Owen says the quote, "I don't need to justify myself to expletive Newcastle fans," and I just think, yes, you do.
Yeah, of course you
Got a lot of
do.
explaining to do.
Yeah, I was one of the absolute mugs who was stood there and queued up and waiting just to see. And one of the people seeing them playing. And you see, yes, you do have to explain yourself. So I was one of the ones who put my money in and was paying for the merchandise. They'll pay for your wages, and put you into the lifestyle that you've got. So I think you do have to speak to the Newcastle fans.
Not forgetting, of course, that many people are in jobs that they hate. But they love life because on the weekend they get to go and watch their team play.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I'd have been 18, 19 or whatever.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
When was this?
You know what I mean? I'm sitting there working in a call centre and stuff like that, making ends meet, making my way in the world, and it's like, you're putting your hard-earned money into replica kits, into merchandise, into the football club, into tickets and all that sort of thing. So yes. Like I say, some of that money went on paying for Michael Owen. So yes, you do have to justify yourself. That was one of the absolutely worst comments that you could make, at all. And it's interesting. I know he's on his book tour at the moment. It'll be interesting when he comes to Newcastle. I tell
you what, it's worth
very
doing publicity for it.
Is the book tour coming to Newcastle?
No,
it's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Chester,
be very brave.
You need a set of stones to do that, let me tell you. But if he ever does want to explain himself to Newcastle fans, there'll be a vacant chair any point on the black and white show, not the football fan zone, Rob, to speak and justify yourself
there's
to
a dig
this
at him.
fan base, if
Wrong
you
with
would like
title.
to.
Funnily enough, I do know a Newcastle fan who, despite what's been going on this week, growing up, he absolutely idolised Michael Owen.
Poor lad.
Poor soul.
No, not poor him, because he still idolises him. The Newcastle fan that still idolises Michael Owen.
Let's
and
move off that.
That's in a group of one.
As far as I know, yeah.
WhatsApp group on its own.
Still defended him, and I invited him to come onto the show, but no, he declined.
I wonder why.
Unfortunately. But yes, that is it for the Michael Owen story. Thank you very much for those watching through our YouTube stream. Your comments are very much appreciated. So
And
really,
other streams are available.
really thought-provoking questions there, but which, considering the time, unfortunately, we won't go into. Stuff for another day. But yes, we will move on now. We'll have a bit of a break, and afterwards we'll be talking about England's win over Bulgaria yesterday. So don't go away.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Of the black and white show.
Oh, you nearly said it. Rob nearly said the wrong show.
Nearly said the wrong name there. I do apologise. It's difficult, like, presenting whilst doing the controls and on the computer system as well, trying to look at that and your microphone levels. It's
You're doing well, Rob. Rob's looking after the radio point. I'm looking after the stream
not
point.
tonight. I
Don't
have
worry.
to admit, I do apologise in advance if my presenting is not up to scratch. But yes, England 4, Bulgaria 0 yesterday to kick the first international break of the season off. England were cruising, weren't they, Kyle?
I mean, you could say the word, but it's Bulgaria at the end of the day, mate. They haven't won. They haven't lost a qualifier in 10 years since the Wally with the Brolly, as it were. As Newcastle fans will all know about Steve McLaren and his frailties, but England cruised by Bulgaria with little to no surprise about it, to be honest. But yeah, I suppose we'll move on to the next one.
And that next one will play against Kosovo on
The
Tuesday.
mighty nation of Kosovo.
They've actually won the
Goodness me.
they've won the last few, actually.
I haven't beaten.
Oh, come on. Honestly, I feel really passionately about this because I watched that game against Bulgaria, and seriously, watching paint dry would have been more entertaining. I mean, we watched the women's game today. They got destroyed. But to be honest, I mean, I don't know who was worse, the women's performance today or the Bulgaria team. It was just an awful game, an awful advert for international football.
Oh, I think you
Z-Fest.
just put an advert out to present this show next time the next international break. I mean, I wasn't watching the game yesterday. I was planning on this show.
It was absolutely awful.
Everybody watches every game that we talk
Oh yeah, I
about.
watched the highlights. I watched the highlights, of course. Yeah.
You never admit that you don't
But
see a game.
whilst it was live. Yeah.
Take note one.
But yes, it was the first time since, first time in our history that we'll be playing Kosovo on Tuesday. Got a few players there to sort of look out for who can pose a threat, like Werder Bremen's Mila Rashica. Kyle's just glared at me as if I've just told a joke. No,
I mean, Kosovo don't strike fear into the eyes. Like,
Which we just said
What are the rankings?
Kosovo.
What's the world rankings for Kosovo? It's like 140 or something like that.
Yeah, but
they've climbed up since then. But
yeah, they've only been a nation in about 3-4 years.
Come on. This is exactly why, though, that these entire matches, why they bother having these. There's such much of a gulfing class that it ruins the game. Absolutely ruins it.
Shall we talk about the actual Bulgaria game?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, this will be a short conversation.
Well, the first half was pretty short. Wonderful. I think we were both saying on the Facebook Messenger chat that it was dull. It was very lethargic from both sides. Bulgaria were just parking the bus eye, and then they had a couple of counter opportunities which didn't. You can see their class in the final third. They've got Brazilian-born playmakers and strikers who can't even hit a door net, whatever you want to say the expression was. But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. But I think
goal was interesting though.
It was a mistake by them.
Bulgaria having this play out of the back.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of it personally. What are your thoughts on it? Like,
lump it long.
if you've got somebody decent up front, I suppose you can lump it long, but you can see why some of these type of nations will try something different because they haven't got the quality, so they've got to try something else. But it seemed bizarre. It really seemed bizarre. The entire thing seemed.
And what's funny thing is that the couple of chances that they had, Paul, straight after half time, Bulgaria, that could have changed the game because it was only 1-0.
It was embarrassing.
And Pickford had to make a save straight away at the start of the second half. Luckily, 2 minutes, well, not 2 minutes, it was 90 seconds later.
England looked so lethargic and uninterested. The crowd was quiet and a bit sparse in areas. Yeah, it seemed absolutely terrible. And I'm all more for one. Personally speaking, if I'd been Gareth Southgate, apart from actually picking players from up north and not being biased, what I would do is I would play some of maybe more of the younger players, the likes of Mount and stuff in these games.
From the start.
From the start, giving them experience so that when we get to tournament football, we then bring in our big hitters, the likes of Kane, etc. But then the likes of Mount have actually got some decent experience because, let's be honest, even our third, fourth or fifth choice England side should batter the likes of Bulgaria, who are known for being a holiday destination as opposed to a footballing nation.
He's looking good, isn't he, the Chelsea youngster? You know, if he didn't get off the ground running this season, you know, who knows, he probably would have had a mountain to climb. You knew the pub was coming long before.
I suspected something was coming.
But then Kane, convincingly, two convincing penalties, secured his hat-trick and putting it on a plate for Raheem Sterling as well. Right place, right time and all that. So the bottom line for England is that they are a point clear at the top of the group with a game in hand over Kosovo in second, Czech Republic in third and Montenegro in fourth. You're still thinking about my pun, aren't you?
It's going to be.
Yeah.
That table, which the viewers at home can see, it's 14 goals. It's more than double of what Kosovo is, and it's plain sailing now for England. You expect England to at least win 9 out of those 10 games and go unbeaten and go to the Euros, which is interesting because 2 of the semis are at Wembley.
But the thing is, as well,
the finals at Wembley.
This is typical England, though. Everybody gets carried away. If you look at some of them countries, I'm sorry, but like, you know,
full Balkan countries, more or less.
We end up beating them all. We look like world beaters, and then people think that we're going to do great. Then we get to a tournament and we play somebody half decent, or you get injuries to the likes of Kane and stuff. And then because you haven't bled in these other youngsters that you could have, we end up coming short. It's the same old rinse and repeat in England. Qualifying, it's just the easiest thing at all to do for England. It's just not a challenge. The groups, it needs looking at. Whether Southgate looks at that and thinks outside the box and thinks about leading these young players in, or whether there was a pre-qualification tournament before the actual qualification tournament. But honestly, the quality of football, it's worse than watching maybe Sunderland in League One. It's that bad.
It's that bad that Kyle's back on his phone again.
I was checking the Eagles score. We've got a thing for other sports. I mean, Rob likes his cricket. Johnny likes his cricket. I like the American football.
Just football for us.
We'll just focus on football on this show.
Yeah, just the football. But
as the cricket score came flashing up on the screen before, nice try, Rob.
Yeah.
Nervous laugh. He's been exposed, hasn't he?
Question for you all.
I had the cricket on this computer here, and I've just found out the cricket result. So let's not talk about cricket.
No, let's not. I'll ask you the question. What do you make of the Euros being played around several of cities around Europe?
I think it's a decent idea on the basis that I think one country would sometimes struggle to host, a big competition like that in terms of.
One of them's in Dublin, isn't it?
But it's someone's job to assign that country, so the country needs to be ready. Like not making Qatar like a World Cup nation. So that's one. I mean, I think it's a bad idea, and the reason I think that is, I think it's just a money scam by UEFA. The amount of money that's going to cost a fan to go to every group stage game, if they do well in the tournament, how much is it going to cost?
One of them's in Baku, Azerbaijan. We've seen the carry on with Arsenal.
So imagine if England end up going to Azerbaijan. All the stuff that happened with Arsenal, Chelsea in the Europa League final, where about 40 people from each side got to go and the rest were from a sandwich brigade. And then you get further in the competition, you have to go from Baku to London. And if you do better again in the final, it's like, where's the thought for the fans?
The only home games England will have will be the semis and the final if they got that far. But it's interesting because it's also expanded to 24 teams, isn't it?
And so moving on, we'll move off England and then move on to 4 first-team players for Newcastle have been in action over the course of this weekend. But first of all, we'll do a quick shout out to Mo Sangare, under 23s youngster, got his first goal for his country Liberia the other day. Really pleased for him, and it's really good to see the under 23s. We'll touch upon them later. But yeah,
Did you see the goal, Rob? Rob Mo
Sangare? You take the long staffs out of the team, and all of a sudden that under 23 side looks a tad weaker than it was compared to the success that we got last season. So it's good to see,
it was a big game for them because remember this is a qualifier, so the 3-1 up, and I've seen when Sangare come on second half, he scored the penalty. The whole place has gone nuts. You've got.
they don't win often, so.
No, but you've got like George Weah and all that, and Wild, and obviously he's the president of Liberia and all that, and he's in the stands dancing. And it meant a big thing for them. So, I think it's a big thing to have a lad who's never made his debut play full international. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's not many to choose from in Liberia in terms of quality footballers. So let's be honest.
It's a valid point.
It is a valid point.
But still
great for Mo Sangare. He's done fantastic for Liberia, and I hope he continues to do so. And I hope he actually makes it into the first team, so we can get a better look at him at first team level. But it's kind of one of them where it's a lower nation, so it's easier for him to get into the lineup. But best of luck to Mo.
Yes, the 4 Newcastle players, first team players that were in international duty over this weekend. Martin Dubravka for Slovakia. We'll start with him. Played as Slovakia lost 4-0 to World Cup finalists Croatia.
Robbed.
For me,
should have came home.
Bit of a bad one.
Martin Dubravka.
For me, I think it was, of course, 4-0 is
He saw the goals robbed.
Yeah,
I think Dubravka could probably do a little bit better on a couple of them.
But then on a couple of them, deflections, wrong-footed. It's nothing you can do. I think it just goes to show that, yes, you do. Generally speaking, goalkeepers look good when they've got good defences in front of them. Slovakia, you can't say they have a world-beating defence.
You could say it's a warm-up for next week.
Yeah, but I think Dubravka, excellent goalkeeper. Lucky, and Slovakia will also be in action tomorrow against Hungary. So, yes.
But that's a cracking game.
Slovakia against Hungary.
I'm just waiting
for the neutrals.
I'm waiting for a pun now from Rob about Hungary.
Oh God! No! Don't set him up.
He's just starving for success or something.
No, honestly, no.
Honestly, I wasn't thinking of a pun.
Right, good. Let's move on.
Yeah, some really good news. Fabian Schär. We absolutely love him, don't we, on Tyneside? He scored for Switzerland as they drew 1-1 against Ireland in Dublin.
There you go.
Some strike, mind.
It is.
When I was watching that game, I could see him just going forward and thinking he's going to run in the box, yeah. And it's not something that uncanny with Newcastle.
He could play midfield, couldn't he? Easy,
he just runs up and then the finish, the technique, the side foot, and just power on it. And what a finish it was.
Feels like he certainly used to be a striker, doesn't it? I mean,
in a former life or something.
Yeah, we've seen it with Newcastle. He's not afraid to prowl forward. I mean, take the goal against Cardiff last season in January, his first that day.
I think he's got more of a licence with the 2 now because he's got an extra two centre backs behind him. Switzerland's probably a little bit more. Whoa, just be careful.
But yeah, it's one thing I like about the Swiss flag is that the Switzerland is that their flag's a big plus.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I messed it up there.
It just looks like you can visit.
If you're going to turn off, now's a good time.
I blame Jonathan for this, It
just looks like you're going to play theme hospital. I think it just looks like a hospital sign.
It does like.
But yes, very well done to Fabian Schär. He is currently in action for Switzerland against Gibraltar right now, and I believe Switzerland are in the lead.
Shaw got an assist.
Yeah, shock. Switzerland beating Gibraltar and the Rock.
Yeah,
a territory of the UK.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I would have preferred to have seen him rested for this game because Gibraltar, it's a dead cert of a win, and
I'd rather see Switzerland up against the Rock from WWE. That would have been a bit more interesting. It just proves that, honestly, man, come on, these games, they're just so one-sided.
I guess, when you've got a 2-week break for us in between matches, it's good to get some match fitness up, which is what these guys are doing.
Well, we need as much match fitness as possible for Liverpool.
Yeah, they need plenty of
There's going to
running
be a lot of
backwards.
running.
Aye, backwards. Goodness me.
And also with the tweet that you just saw on your screens there, Emil Kraft was in action for Sweden. He came on for Mikael Lustig in Sweden's 4-0 win over the Faroe Islands.
Lustig? Isn't he a race car driver for a TV show?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Kyle.
Anyway.
Lustig.
But again, another
Martin Lustig.
great mismatch.
Martin Lustig, right back.
Kyle, you do realise this means that you like my puns.
No, let's get off the puns. Come on,
Yeah,
let's get serious.
I don't think so.
But Sweden, just like Switzerland, they are in action tonight against biggest rivals Norway. That is
Scandinavian for value.
Yes.
Bit of Netto there. Bit of IKEA.
Honestly, man, it's about as appealing as a match as like Cheltenham v. I don't know, Oldham.
The IKEA derby, is it going to be a draw?
Yeah.
Oh goodness me! I apologise to the people listening across all of the different platforms. I do apologise, and if you're listening on FM, just try and keep your steering wheel, keep it nice and straight, no crashing, please. Drive safely.
And so, how would we evaluate? Taking off the international scene here, how would we evaluate Emil Kraft's start for Newcastle? It's been a little bit hit and miss, predominantly miss.
Well, I said earlier on when he signed that he looks very more defensive, and people were saying in the comments he's not. He gets forward. So far, I've been proven right.
He's a right back playing a right wing back.
He doesn't look comfortable getting forward past the halfway line to be, shall I go, shall I not? You should just be going.
Yeah.
Yedlin doesn't think about it.
People criticise Paul Dummett playing at left wing back for the exact same thing, that you're good defensively but you're not good offensively. I think it's the same for Kraft. He is a right back playing as a right wing back. No puns. I can feel one coming up.
No.
I can seriously feel one coming up. But to be fair, I think he's had a bit of an indifferent start. I think Mankio can feel really, really hard done by.
Well, Yedlin will be back now because there's 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play at Liverpool. I'd be
He's on the
surprised if
bench.
he goes straight in to start. But it gives Bruce now. There's 3 right backs and possibly injury crisis. You can play Mankio left wing back if you have to.
He's got that versatility, hasn't he?
Yeah.
With Mankio, but I presume we're all unanimous in saying Mankio right back, Dummett left, or Richie. Well, when he's fit, when he comes back from injury, Richie. We're all unanimous in that verdict, I guess.
Yeah.
What about Norway for Jack Rowe-Williams?
I think he's good. He's got potential there, but
I think he has to start.
That's what you call hit and miss of a start, I think.
Yeah, he had that. People are obviously thinking about the mistake in the Arsenal game, but to be fair, I think he's grown into it since coming in. I think he's been better than Kraft, and he's got a cross on him. And physically, he's really, really, impressive. He's big, but he can get forward. He can motor on down, can't he? And he can obviously create chances. We saw in the cup game against Leicester, him setting up the goal. So
is that what you want to call it?
Yeah,
all right.
that's great.
With
Tom Dean.
With Williams though, because obviously we with the Leicester one is, and you weren't you up.
Yeah.
It's more of just a match fitness thing that I thought it was. He just looked sluggish, and then he's just starting to come back in. When I think Matt Ritchie is a case of will we miss him, will we not? Well, now Jet
We
Williams.
miss Matt Ritchie.
I don't think we missed him
Leadership,
massive
if anything.
amounts, not hugely. I think
it's his
small
leadership.
bits. But I think it's now
He
down to
picks him
Jet
up off the
Williams.
desk.
But it's now down to Jet Williams to
kicks him
claim
up
that
the backside.
number 1 spot, his own, and go out and claim. This is his chance. If he doesn't get it now, he'll not get it for the rest of the season.
And then finally, Miguel Almiron. Paraguay only in action in friendlies over the course of this weekend. No competitive matches for Almiron, but he played the full 90 minutes in a 2-0 loss to Japan. Interestingly, he played in the number 10 position and not left wing, which, of course, he played in the back end of last season. Do we think that he's there to stay in the number 10 position, Paul?
If you watch the Copa America, he was absolutely devastating over the summer, playing in that number 10 role. So, I think he offers something. I'm still really, really pro and big for Almiron. I think the difference when he came in last season to the likes of Perez, who got dropped at Leicester recently, He makes such a difference to other players around him with his pace, the penetration that he's got when he makes those darting runs. How he draws players out, gets fouls, wins us free kicks, moves us further up the pitch. I'm really, really for him. But I think in the number 10 position, that could be somewhere that he could really, really excel. And like I say, he did fantastic over the summer playing in the Copa America.
And yeah, so can we see Almiron stay in that number 10 position? Because he's not really, he's struggled to hit the ground running for Newcastle this season, hasn't he, in that position?
I think once he gets that first goal, then you'll see your run where he might go in like score 5 out the next 20 or 5 out the next 15 or something along those kind of lines. I think he just needs that goal, and I think it will come.
Like a Watford goal, like their goal that they scored.
Yeah, just
if he gets something like that,
fluke.
You're away.
But you wouldn't put it past him. Bending one 25 yards out and we're scoring a worldie. You just wouldn't think, we've been waiting for that.
He is class. I know people
have split time.
Yeah, and you've got to remember the likes of Tovan. I use him as an example time and time again.
Well, McLaren didn't know what to do with him. He just
McLaren wouldn't know what to do with much things. He probably needed a handbook and to do anything. But let's be honest.
Chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1. Tiny's laces, shall we say. But no, he's a quality player. The likes of Tovan wasn't given the time, and I think as fans, we've got to give these young players who are moving from one culture and one side of the world to the other time to bed in. Don't be jumping on his back. If he feels the love,
and speaking
the talent's definitely there.
Yeah. So to end this off, Paraguay, they play against Jordan on Tuesday in another friendly, that is. And, that mention of patience there, that leads us nicely onto the next part, which we will get to after the break. Watford's situation, patience and time, is something that the Watford board seem to seriously lack in. Yesterday, Javi Gracia was sacked after spending 20 months in the job, and surprisingly, reappointed Quique Sanchez-Flores. We'll be dissecting all of that after the break. See you soon.
When I walk into the kitchen, you saw the look on my face, you saw the look on my heart to get out of this place. I seen something I've never seen before. When you put on the pineapple, we couldn't be friends anymore. Pineapple blossoms, go on pizza. It's a fruit and you know that. Pineapple doesn't go on pizza. They just don't belong. walk into the kitchen, you saw the look on my face, you saw the look on my had to get out of this place. I seen something I've never seen before. When you put on the pineapple, we couldn't be friends anymore. Pineapple thousands, go on pizza. It's a fruit and you know that. Pineapple doesn't go on pizza. They just don't belong.
Right on cue, 7 o'clock. How cool was that? I've never asked a rhetorical question in my life. How cool was that? So now, our next part of the show, we'll be discussing the bizarre from the Hornets yesterday. They've taken a big sting into Javi Gracia by sacking him. In my view, not really deserved. And I've got some interesting stats here, but first of all, let's discuss Watford. 20 months in charge. Kyle, do you think this was on the cards for Gracia?
Of course, it was on so many levels. Watford don't give the managers any time. If it shows signs of going wrong, then they sack the managers almost immediately. This one, I don't think was too fair. I mean, as it was on the cards for him to get sacked because they haven't won in a month, so that's on the Watford owners' terms enough to sack the manager. So for me, it's a sad one, but they're bringing in a proven manager for Watford who did very well for them last time. But on a personal note, I think the Watford owners have just sacked him from what our friend Ramsey HITC said. He said if Javi Garcia was still manager by Christmas, he'd sleep in a bin. So I think Watford owners have seen that video and have felt sorry for the poor Irish lad and sacked the manager respectfully, so the lad doesn't have to live like a Scouser for a night.
It's quite interesting that you say that Flores is proven, and I'm just thinking perhaps Gracia is more proven, if that makes sense, because Gracia's win percentage in his 20 months in charge, 45%. And I'd say for Watford standards, you'd be looking at about between 35 and 40. Whereas Flores, when he was in charge during the 2015-16 season, played, this is just in the league, played 38, won 12. That's just shy of a third. So, Lee, does this make sense?
It's after 4 games. I know you might say
Palace did that with Dubois.
I know,
but I know it runs off from last season, but you look at them, they got mid-table, and then an FA Cup final.
Look at it from a Newcastle's perspective, right? Newcastle would divot in them sort of situations, but at the end of the day, the Watford owners have gone, I want the best. I'm not going to settle for rubbish. I want the best. So it's literally, you do the job I'm asking you to do, which is be in the top half of the table, or you're gone. It's as simple as that.
It's a shame they didn't sack him a couple of months ago, because I would have took him over Steve Bruce any day of the week.
Well, my Grandin would have been better qualified than Steve Bruce at the time, but it's probably higher up on the list as well of people I wanted to
Geordie, by chance.
That's
enough to be the Newcastle manager these days.
Although she did come from a DL postcode.
Oh, right, well that doesn't count then.
Yeah.
Cheryl Cole's next on the list.
But no, at the end of the day, like you say, they have got high standards at Watford of what they expect, and if you don't hit them standards, then that's it, you're out the door.
To be honest, I think even if you do hit those standards, you still get sacked.
There's still that risk, isn't it?
Look at Flores back in 2016.
They've talked about competing at the very, very highest table of football. And I think at the end of the day...
They even sacked Slaviša Jukanovic after getting them promoted in 2015.
At the end of the day, I think a club like Watford are massively overachieving just being in the Premier League. Not just being disrespectful, but traditionally, they are not a top flight, what you would class as a top flight club. So they're doing really well just to be in the Premier League. But at the end of the day...
It's how much can you risk that and keep changing manager until it hits you? Because
for Chelsea.
I know, Chelsea got money, Watford haven't.
Southampton.
But it's Southampton. You've mentioned just Southampton there, Paul, is they keep changing all those players that they got rid of over the years. You know, you have Gareth Bales and Oxlade-Chamberlain
What a
and all
team
the
they would
influx of Liverpool players that they've nicked off them as well, is how if they kept doing that, they've stopped since Van Dijk. If they kept selling their best assets, Southampton are gradually now fighting every year a relegation battle because they don't have that quality. How much will that catch up on them? And if Watford keep changing that keep changing their manager at some point, it will catch up on them.
Yeah, because you can only roll the dice so many times, and eventually it's not going to be the numbers that you're looking for. And it's going to result in a relegation. And I think most football fans who aren't Watford supporters would not have a great deal of sympathy for them, to be honest, the way they operate.
I think in realistic terms, I think Watford, I've said this already, I think they're in a false position. I don't think they'll finish 20th.
No.
I think they'll be alright, mate. Even whoever was in charge, whether it was Gracia or Kike Flores Sanchez came in, I think whoever was in there, so Watford would have been quite comfortably 13th.
It's a false
14th.
position, but not by much, Lee. Like, we watched them last weekend and they're not that great. Like, let's be honest. They're not going to finish. They're not going to finish 20th.
I think they'll be 13, 14.
They're going to be fighting to steal.
They've got a lot more better attacking players than what we have by a clear mile for me.
Delafeu, Decore, who else?
And then you've got what Deeney wouldn't get on our side.
Probably.
Pereira.
He's injured at the minute.
Pereira probably getting Will Hughes.
Pereira, what's his?
Will Hughes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of forward players that'll probably get in, or if not, worst case scenario, squad players with us.
Yeah, but you see Watford's defence.
That's what struggles. That's where they struggle.
It's a championship level defence.
Ben Foster was their man of the match last weekend.
Oh yeah,
and that shows you. But
he's the one Premier League defensive player they've got.
We are the other way around. Where last season defensively we were so good, we had to rely so much. We didn't really have a midfield chipping goals. We had to rely on Rondon, Perez. That's been taken away now.
Big, beautiful man.
And then we'll have to rely on, hopefully Joe Layton comes good, but Watford going forward already have that. They're going to be all right. Watford will be fine.
Back.
Watford will be fine. Andy Carroll for Liverpool, that'll be a big
yeah.
shout. We'll talk about the fixtures later, but
later on in the show we'll be having a little quiz, but I've got a couple of questions, trivia questions for you on... Oh, no.
My head's already turned to bullshit. All these puns, they're just like... Oh.
So yeah, who was the last when, to make it a bit easier, when was the last time a Watford manager lasted more than 20 months in charge? When?
Sean Dyche?
No, before that.
Graham Taylor?
After. Just what year are we talking?
It's got to be, what, early 90s?
It was 2009 to 2011. Malky Mackay, former Cardiff manager, was the last. He lasted a full 2 years. He was the last time a Watford manager was at the club.
But that was not a different owner, because the Pozzo family own like Udinese.
No, this is just generally the club. Generally the club. How many managers have there been since then? 9.
Whatever, yeah.
9. That's it's ridiculous.
There's actually, funny enough, there's some clubs out there who have more managers than that.
And so, moving on, how will this affect us?
I think it's too early to change the manager. I know you normally have that bounce, but it's so early in the season at the minute. You're only a few points away for Champions League spot, so...
Yeah, it's not like this. If this appointment was done in, say, March, with a couple of months left, then we'd be, looking over our shoulders. Assuming the table would be the same. But
you don't know what's going on. The thing is, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
And there'll be another 4 or 5 seconds before March, without a shadow of doubt, for the lower end teams.
Yeah.
And there's even talk of Solskjaer.
I said I don't think he'll see.
Javi Garcia has done more in his last 15 games as Watford manager than Solskjaer has as Man United manager.
Gracia's done more in the last 18 months.
Gracia's won 2 more games than Solskjaer has in his last 15 and he got sacked.
Gracia's probably achieved more than what Benitez has probably done in the Premier League. I know Benitez limits restriction, but because he got them to an FA Cup final in top 10, that's a great achievement. If we had an FA Cup final and a top 10, we'd be... Rafael go down folklore.
Well, we used to before a certain owner came in.
Aye.
But you're quite right. Of course, it would be a fantastic season if we finished 10th and got the FA Cup final.
But if Gracia came to St James's Park and worked under Ashley, would he do what Rafa Benitez have done? No.
I can't see a fashion magazine going into sort of St James's Park. Gracia.
Goodness me.
No. Okay. Moving on. Under 23s, Newcastle United under 23s, just as Kyle slumps into his chair in disbelief. And we'll also be talking about Newcastle United women's team. I've just seen it on the delay on the screen. But yes, under 23s first. They won their first game of the season against Fulham just recently. Tom Allen's brace, one of them was a penalty, the other really good finish. So Lee, you've been a really keen follower of the under 23s this season. How would you rate their start to the season? Because it has been a bit.
I wouldn't even say just this season. I have in general. I follow any of Newcastle that's got football related on it. Very indifferent. Look, I think I've already said this several times. Ben Dawson, why has he been moved up? I know he's got a promotion.
It was a great season last year, wasn't it?
It just doesn't make sense to change something that isn't broken. That's the right word. Don't change it.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. Yeah.
Yes, bring Redford in, maybe have him in as his assistant, but the under 23's done so well. The Czech trade last year. You got the Premier League Cup final. We got one of the semis.
You had a positive vibe, didn't you, around it last season?
You were going for the playoffs to get promoted. You had the emergence of Sean breaking the first team. Obviously, Matty's now progressed. Elliot Sorensen was banging in goals. Yannick Torre was. And this season, I know they've lost a lot of the players that have gone out on loan, but they're struggling at the minute. And I know the Macclesfield one against the first team was a spirited performance, just did, yeah. But if you take away Man United, I went to that game and Chong just bossed on that left wing, and he looks some player, mind you.
Big threat, wasn't it?
Big hair as well.
Yeah, big hair. I mean, 6-0 Reading away.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you laughing at?
Reading.
I know. Like, 6-0 away to Reading. I mean, Reading's first team. I mean, can you think of any hot youngsters at Reading? I mean, how are it's poor.
Tyler Blackwood, remember him?
He was Man U,
best of starts.
Came to Man U.
Might not have been the best of starts, but there's some good prospects in that team, like Luke Charman, Mo Sangare, Tom Allen, Lewis Cass, Yannick Torre.
My friend Victor Fernandez. Obviously,
he is. He is the one player though that you're sort of like eager to see take that step up, and you wish that we'd stayed in the League Cup because you think he might have been involved. But I think Neil Redfern, I've still got question marks over him. You know, his previous track record, where he's been. Success doesn't really follow. There's a reason I think why he was out of the men's game for a bit. People I've spoke to down at Barnsley don't really speak that well of him.
A bit Liverpool, didn't he? Didn't last. I don't think it was a one game.
A game, yeah. They got
Liverpool
absolutely trounced. But the people I've spoken to, fantastic, yeah, player, fantastic, ticks all the boxes. But from what I've heard, coaching wise, it's not the best. So, and then obviously you look at the results and you couple that with what people are telling me, and it just doesn't come across as fantastic. You haven't got that same buzz as last year. And I'm just hoping that we're not going back to the old sort of Pedro days where things weren't as positive with the under 23s as what they were last season. But like I said, I agree with what you said. If it's not broke, why fix it? Why try to reinvent the wheel? Something's working.
I know, because you've had like Shola coming. I can get that. I can get the loan.
Yeah,
totally.
I can understand the Geordie DNA before. Totally
you
understand
love that Geordie DNA.
I do.
Steve Bruce and all that.
I don't understand that.
You were Johnny in this Geordie DNA stuff, haven't we?
No, but at the end of the day, I think there could have been better candidates.
However, I think, Paul, the two positives that come out
Guardiola appointed
is the Longstaff brothers.
Yeah.
That's the positive, because you want your players to break into that first team. We've been crying for years because we've only really had Paul Dummett. Yes, I know Andy Carroll's come back.
Adam Armstrong, Adam Campbell.
Yeah,
they've been on the brink, but when you break through the first team as playing in the under 23s centre forward, and then Alan Partridge brings you through the ranks and puts you on the right, you haven't got much of a chance.
Yeah, you haven't.
To be honest.
But I think that's the two Longstaffs. And you want, right, okay, who's the next one? Who's going to be the end of the season? Who's going to be the one next year?
Things like Fernandez.
And then you look at Fernandez, you look at Sorensen out on loan.
I like Yannick Torre.
Yannick Torre is another one as well. Owen Bailey now needs either a loan or a breakthrough, because there's a lot of them now are at breaking point, so to speak, where they need to get that loan or move away from the club.
I mean, we could use them in the League Cup. Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard some of the comments that Neil Redfern came out about his goalkeeper recently. Just little things like that when you're criticising your players openly in the media.
What, Jake Turner?
Aye. He said that he
When you
got
sign
after it. He should have saved it.
We've got the worst defence in the league.
And I just don't know. I think he comes across as a bit dour and a bit dire. And we didn't have that we've lost that positivity. And I think we need to get back to that positivity. I don't really think he's being a great fit at the moment. He says it's not about the results and this, that, and the other, but it is to a certain extent because you want them playing a successful brand of football that they can then translate to the first team when they get that chance.
On the positive, though, as everyone can see in the league table,
I was about to say that was my next point. The table of Premier League 2. Newcastle United, thanks to that win over Fulham under 23s, they are off the bottom of the table.
Yay!
And guess who's bottom?
At the expense of
Drum
Sunderland
roll.
under 23s.
Well, Sunderland under 23s finished bottom last year as well, because a lot of their youngsters have been
2 relegations in a row.
Yeah.
No way.
They're getting accustomed to it at this point. At
a
all
lot
levels.
Wonder if Netflix would want to cover that season.
Yeah, Sunderland. I think a lot of their youngsters, though, I'm not sticking up for them, but were moved into the first team to try and make up their numbers. But they're under 20
for them.
Well, they're playing Middlesbrough next in that division, so that'll be an
They
interesting
don't beat
game
Middlesbrough either, so sorry.
in the under 23s. But yeah,
Middlesbrough, of course, with a really well reputable youth academy set up there.
yeah, I think
on Teesside.
It's not on red car, is it? This is the academy system.
no. Well, let's not mention that car.
It's a fine place to go.
But for me, Paul, you're right about that. I'm sure people are saying that in the live chat is results are great and you want that to happen, but more importantly, you want the lads coming through at the first team, or worst case scenario, get that loan. Look at Dan Barlaser. He's playing first team football now for 2 different clubs, 2 seasons running, and he's a regular. I know he didn't play on the weekend, but then you've got Kellen Watts now, who's a young lad starting to play, so they'll be hungry. They're not going to come back and play under 23 football, going from the football league to under 23.
Like Sean Longstaff, isn't it? Go out, you do well in the under 23s, you go out, you get your loans, you earn your stripes, and then you come back and you get a chance, and you've got to sink. You're going to sink or you're going to swim, aren't you?
Yeah.
And he took it and he's gone, and that's how it needs
But
to be.
I think you've mentioned that the loan manager Shola coming in will help, because we've seen it with Cal Roberts. Look where he is now. I know he had a good game the other night, but he's dropped so far down, and he's way above that level. And if a loan manager was already in place, maybe 2 or 3 years, I don't think that move happens. I think Roberts would have either progressed or got a higher end club.
Yeah. And moving on to the under-23s next game, of course, in the EFL Trophy, select teams from the Premier League and the Championship are able to field, their under-23 sides are able to compete with the first teams of League 1 and League 2 sides.
Really?
You say under 23 sides playing first team sides?
Under
Didn't
21s.
something like
Under
that happen?
21s.
Didn't something like that happen last year where the under 23 side played the first team of something? Anyone in the comments, anyone listening, can you guess where that came from? Because it's evaded me, unfortunately. Let us know in the comments where
me and Johnny were down.
particular game
Me and Johnny
came
were
from.
down there, weren't we?
For the first game of the competition on this occasion, the under-23s unfortunately lost 2-1 to Macclesfield Town. Couple of really good strikes, Macclesfield when they broke the deadlock, and Luke Charman with an absolute worldie to equalise. What sort of promise are you expecting him to sort of make on this under-23 side, Lee?
It's at a crossroads, because I actually personally think Sorensen and Torre are ahead of him. So Sorensen's out on loan, which he's not getting loads of game time. Yannick Torre is still a lot younger than most of the lads in that group, so Charman, I'd like to be proven wrong, but I don't think he'll be at the club much longer. I'd be surprised if he's beyond a year. I think he'll be moved on.
And it's not been the best of starts to the season for the under-23s, but hopefully they can improve. So moving on to the women's team, and now they had a time-wear derby recently. It's probably one of the few time-wear derbies that we're going to see this season, on the basis that, the under-23s will, of course, have their derbies, but unfortunately for the first team, it's not going to happen unless we draw them in the FA Cup. I miss them, but focusing on the women's team. Well, it's a good time to play them, isn't it? So focusing on the women's team, of course, Sunderland women's team have, they've been in the business a good long while, whereas Newcastle women's side, it's fairly new, isn't it, Lee? And it was a spirited performance against Sunderland. A couple of lovely dinking strikes, lovely chips over the goalkeeper. But it just wasn't to be. It just wasn't to be, was it?
Sunderland ladies used to be full time. Used to be playing in the WSL, and obviously they went down now to part time, and they're not fully professional. But it's a huge ask for Newcastle women to go the stadium of such and such and try and grab a result. Scored 2 absolutely worldy goals. Sunderland are a much better women's side than what Newcastle's are, but fortunate to get knocked out of the League Cup. But the focus is again with the women's is try and get as high as they can in that Premier League North.
Of course, last Sunday and today, things have not gone well, have they? Sestia thrashed them last week, and followed by another thrashing today against
Liverpool fans. We were there the day. Kyle, tell me about your experience.
Well, as a Newcastle fan going to his first Newcastle women's game, it was a different experience. I'm just going to sum up the experience as a whole first. It's a nice little setup that they have right next to Gallahan Parkway metro station. So if you ever want to go, it's worth it. It's a nice day out.
Yeah,
Food's all right, I suppose.
If you want to reenact that YouTube video, The Beautiful Day, it's perfect.
Yeah, I can see the planes.
The planes take off, but it's a good day out to have a laugh and things like that. But that aside, the football inside, I've never been so frustrated watching a Newcastle team in quite some time. From top to bottom, I just thought early on in the game, Liverpool's strikers looked to press somewhere, and they caused so many problems because the new coach at Newcastle Becky Langley has a high emphasis on playing out from the back, and for me that just did not work today by any means. The Liverpool strikers in midfield were very high pressed, and for the defenders that couldn't pass to save their lives, unfortunately.
Do you think it's getting to a little bit now? Because obviously she declined that interview with us today. Do you think, because there's now conceded 10 in 2 games against, you remember, there's bigger sides in those cities. We've got Durham in the WSL, and you've got obviously the main Liverpool playing the WSL as well. These are lesser known teams, and we're getting hammered.
Yeah. Well, just to touch back onto the game, the way I think she sets up isn't great, if I'm honest, and it just didn't work, and they just didn't have any emphasis on wanting to change that. It was just playing her from the back constantly, and it just did not work. And 2 of the goals were caused from trying to play her from the back, them having a sloppy kick the ball out at the Liverpool opposition, and just driving forward and getting a goal. So for me, very poor performance, poor defensively. However, though, I will say there are a couple of standout players in this team. And I think Newcastle's best right back does in fact play for the play for the women's team. Brooke Cochran, I think she
was really good.
Very natural right back. I think she's good at getting forward, very good at overlap, and
she's got a good link up with Megan McKenzie, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's got a very good link up play, and the overlap she caused that Liverpool side many a problem in the first half, and it's I think it's really sad because she was trying her best to bring the ball out from defence into the midfield. She didn't get much help from her midfield, I don't think, today. I just think the link-up play between the defence and the midfield was really poor. And the link-up play between the midfield and the striker, I mean, it took us 22 minutes to identify who the striker was. And it was, in fact, number 7. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I just think the link-up play between the midfield and the strike force just wasn't there. She didn't get much help at all, and for me, Ollie, if that's the correct terminology for her, then I would just say I think she needs more support. She's going to do more. I think we brought on a striker far too late. We were 4-0 down when we tried to bring an extra striker on, and it didn't work. So I think back to the drawing board, try and sort something out where the defence, midfield and strikers are singing from the same hymn sheet. But until they sort that out, they're going to get the same problems.
It just seemed like women v girls, didn't it, at some time? I mean, physically very imposing, the Liverpool team. And like you said, it was disjointed, really disjointed. It was good. You could have that interaction with the players. You could talk to them as they were playing the game. But like you said, there were the 2 standout players for me as well, the right back and the right midfielder. Apart from that, it was.
Because don't get us wrong, I think
office.
this is like my first taste of women's football. So like for me, I was looking to see what players are good, and I think Newcastle women's team have great wing backs. I think Hennessy on the left and Cotteran on the right. I think they're great going forward, and then you've got Mackenzie on the wing as well. And there are threats there. It's just I think they need to start playing to their strengths instead of trying to like pass out from the back. Because from my perception of it, it's like they've watched Man City on Match of the Day once or twice, and they thought we can have a crack at this, and it's just not working out. They need to play to the strengths of the players that are the best on their team.
The women's game has come on so much. I've come in and come out of it, and you saw the competition for England and stuff, and you think that's come on leaps and bounds. But today, seeing that, like I said, there was some really really good stuff about what we saw, but I'm afraid there was just, like I said, too many bad touches and severely outclassed today. Yeah. Totally.
And so the table for the women's football team, they are 9th in a table of 12. It's not bad. It's far from disastrous. They're situated next to Newcastle Airport, and hopefully once they get some good results going, they'll be flying. They'll be flying. Sorry, I saw Paul's reaction just before I came.
So she said Newcastle Airport.
So yes, and now just to quickly round off this section, and yes, we will go to a break now, and yes, this will be our last ad break, so keep it locked on here on Nova, and we shall see you in a bit for an exciting quiz that's coming up right after this.
Get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Short dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? For the wrong guys, they keep telling me it's alright. How could I be so blind? I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Short dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? Can I take you
Newcastle United's next 6 fixtures following the conclusion of this international break. Now, Liverpool away. And immediately I can sense in the room it's filled with dread.
Looking forward to that one, Kyle?
Saturday
actually.
lunchtime. Kyle, your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I've never been to Anfield before. I've been to Woodison Park on 2 occasions, and I can tell you from experience that is the worst ground I've ever been to, and it's probably the worst ground in the Premier League by some margin. I mean, Everton fans come at us, but your stadium is awful.
No, I'd say Woodison Park's
I've
worse
been
than
to
Palace.
Selhurst Park, but it can't be any worse than Goodison. But back onto Liverpool, I'm looking forward to going. It's going to be a nice drive down. I think it's me and you were going down, Lee, from the channel.
We're meeting Johnny down there.
Meeting Johnny down there. It's going to be quite a good game for us. I mean,
are you sure?
In terms of a standpoint of
get your prayer mats.
Get your prayer mats. Get your
lorries. Get your buses.
Lorries, everything. We're going to need them because it's going to.
We need the Spanish Armada. This one, honestly, we need every bit of help. Whether that's
through Mankio.
To be fair though, I mean nobody give a snowball in hell's chance against Tottenham. So if we're gonna do anything, if Newcastle are good at something, it's the step up against Liverpool. I mean, last year when we went down there on Boxing Day under Benitez, it was a hard afternoon for us, but until Salah dived, you got the feeling that we were still in the game, even though we didn't play so well.
You don't mind. The thing is, if we go down and we lose, like where everybody expects us to. But you don't want any cheating, any histrionics, anything robbing you like that.
We've got VAR now, haven't we? So
yeah. So when they're watching it and when they're checking it, for you, Hurricane. Oh, don't mention it.
Oh, don't whisper, please. People might recognise the voice from the start of the show. But staying on Liverpool, I think of course it's going to be one of them games where we're going to be up against it. We're going to need to defend very well if we're going to get anything out of it. But I'm just going down for the day out like I was last time. The hopefully the aura of Anfield and everything, because it's been one of them on my bucket list to go to in my lifetime, Anfield, and hopefully Lee, we might actually get some footage of You Never Walk Alone this year, because last time it was sadly missed on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I was missed. I was not very happy about that. Obviously traffic and people wanting to park in certain places and be next to McDonald's and stuff like that.
Oh, you missed it, did you? I was trying to catch some fog the other day. Missed.
Lovely. Let's keep the show going. Come on.
And a place in the Premier League where, funnily enough, there is a lot of mist is Brighton. Because
I thought you were going to say Middlesbrough.
No, Brighton, right on the coast. Over the past few years, funnily enough, especially in the winter months, they've had some games postponed because the mist from the coast that is right by the stadium has drifted across, and you end up not being.
Where we're going with
is this the Weather Channel?
You end up not being able to see.
I need a green screen, and over here it's going to be 14 degrees.
But on Saturday evening, we are at home to Brighton. We are here.
That's the big one.
Yeah,
that is the big one. I think we've got to. If you look at that fixture list, if we get the win at Brighton and a draw at Leicester, I'll be pleased-ish with that.
No, big Man United.
It's still early days.
Mark my words.
I'd love that.
Mark my words, we're big Man United.
Yeah, all the plastics, yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, Solskjaer is sitting there crying all the way to
Leicester away.
Magical place.
We've got 2 wins from 2 from there. The Chelsea one, I can't say no from that. Wolves one's an interesting one. Because Wolves haven't started great. I know they've got Europa League commitments.
I wasn't impressed with them
and
last year.
And that game's probably going to be knocked to a Sunday, because aren't they playing in the Europa League on a Thursday? So that'll probably be moved back a day.
Last year, for Brighton away, Wolves was a bad one.
But for Brighton, I know it's still early days in the season and Graham Potter's not been in the job long. But what is it that he has brought to the club that Houghton really struggled with at the back end of last season? Just anyone.
That sounds like he's a Phoenix Knights character. I don't know. I think the head's gone for getting rid of Chris Houghton. I really do.
I've got to be honest. I haven't watched Brighton this season or anything like that. So to answer your question, Rob, I don't really know. And to be honest, I don't really care what he's brought to the team. All I do know is last couple of times we faced Brighton at home, we've always sat round tables like this. I'm sure many Newcastle fans have sat in bars and sat wherever to talk about the Brighton game and the lead up, and it's probably everyone's probably said this is one of them games where you think we should get 3 points, we should get at least a point if we play terrible, but 3 is the expectant. But since we came to the Premier League, we haven't actually even scored past them at St James's Park. It's been a 0-0 draw in the first Premier League season, and in the second we got beat 1-0. So they've always came up here, and they've always been very dogged, and they've always been very good defensively, frustrating, we're time wasting really badly. So it's going to be one of them games where we're going to need to hit them early, we're going to need to score early on, and try and be comfortable from then on, because then Brighton will have to come out and try and get the goal back. Whereas they nick the goal and they park everything in front of work and defend really well for a straight win. I've found in the past couple of years Newcastle aren't very good at breaking a team down. Our best asset is catching a team on the break because our defence is very good. But you get the sense if they score first, then it's going to be a really hard afternoon for Newcastle because we're not very good at breaking a team down. A bit like Watford, yeah. So
we owe them one.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think we do.
I
Yeah,
mean,
at the end of the day, they lost us a bit.
We haven't beat them since the Moti Army weird goal in the Championship.
Mm.
That was the last time we beat them. The last time we beat them at St James's Park was in that same Championship season.
Yeah, Shelby free kick.
Shelby free kick and a Jamal Saltana when he had that dodgy ponytail, but that's by the by. But it is going to be a harder game than people make out, although it is, in the next 6 games, one of them games where you think, if we're going to get 3 points from anyone, it'll probably be them.
Do you think Brighton will suffer the season from the loss of Houghton?
I really hope they do. They shouldn't have sacked Chris Houghton.
Of course, remembered very fondly up here, and I'm sure if the time ever comes, he'll be welcomed back with open arms.
Like this summer would have been a great time.
Yeah, I took Chris Houghton back all day long.
Then fast forward 2 weeks later, during which time we'll play Leicester away. But then let's move on to the next home game, Man United. You say that's the one you're looking forward to.
I look forward to it.
In like me, because Man United have been really hit and miss this season.
Because Kyle has some plastic Man U fan mates, don't you?
My 2 best mates are Man U supporters, so this one for me is it's like a derby. The build up for
so
the
they
week.
don't support the local team.
I mean, no. I mean,
you can't support your local team, can you?
They don't, but
I hope your mates are watching this.
They're probably not. I'm going to be honest, but
his phone's going to start going into overdrive shortly.
But yeah, it's a one for me where it leads up into the week. The banter's going back and forth, and the stick I've had over the holidays. Oh, Steve Bruce has been appointed while they've got Solskjaer at the wheel. Apparently, it's just been one of them over the summer where I've took a torrent of abuse for Steve Bruce. So if Steve Bruce could have my back on something, it would be to beat Man United at home.
One thing that has baffled me about Man United is the first game of the season, convincingly beat Chelsea, job well done. Solskjaer then changed the system, hasn't won since, and hasn't changed it back since. What does that say about
his record at the minute? His record at the minute is relegation form.
Mm.
Because if you put on a league table after he's had his flurry of wins, because he started off brilliant, and then if you've done the league table since that point, I can guarantee you he's in the bottom 5, bottom 6 clubs.
I predicted this though before he got the permanent job. I said
his win ratio is awful.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as Di Matteo, and then they get the permanent job, the permanent gig. You get the first, the next season afterwards, they start dreadfully, and then literally it'll be P45. It's the same as Di Matteo, what he did at Chelsea, and it's just history, repeating himself. I don't think personally he is a big enough name and good enough for that hot seat with his experience as a manager.
I think what we're also missing as well is that Andy Carroll's coming back as well, and that'll be a huge boost even if he is just on the bench. Even if he doesn't even make Liverpool the next game, you've got him, and the place will just go nuts. It will.
I'd love, I think,
and not just that,
say Andy Carroll game for me.
Not just that, saint-maximin should be back by possibly Brighton or the game after for Leicester. So we've got the injuries coming back. Obviously, we know Matt Ritchie's a little bit longer for 2 months, but it'd be nice to get those two back, integrate them again, and have a few different options.
Different styles and different approaches, different tactics. Tactics that you can play.
If you can go long, Andy Carroll, fine. If you need someone with a bit of flicks and
I'm
tricks.
looking forward to seeing him up top with Joe Linden as well as a 2.
Do you reckon he'll play 2?
I think if we chase the
if
game,
that's
we
the
might.
case, 5-3-2, I don't think Bruce will go 5-3-2 again.
I think you might change
I
things.
think
If
he'll
we're,
stick with the wingers. He
if we're
needs to.
struggling in a game, I can see him putting two top.
I think Almiron, Maximin and Joe Linton are our main three. They've got to be. And then if you're having a bit of problem, you bring Andy Carroll on. And then you...
Even Dwight Gale to some extent. I know he's the forgotten man, but
Plus the
again,
knees.
again, another one off the bench possibly. So the better we get injuries back, I think the better that we'll have more of a stronger side.
Yeah.
Can Solskjaer turn it around like he did when he came in, or will he,
I hope not.
Will he be gone by Christmas?
Gone by
Yeah.
Christmas.
People
Paul,
by
what about you?
Christmas. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
I think that will delight a couple of my friends who are Manchester United fans.
Oh, where do these Manchester United fans live, Rob?
Literally Manchester.
Oh well, that's fair enough.
that
I'll
would
take
be
that
a
back. I'll take that back. Apologies about that, but it's a long, long way for the majority of London fans coming up to see the game.
Well, London fans going to actually watch Man United games.
Yeah, it's a long trip for them to come
Yeah.
up to Newcastle. So fair play to them.
And so, moving on, I've been really looking forward to this part of the show. Lee has a quiz for us. The three of us, Paul, myself, and Kyle, we have no idea what sort of questions, what kind of
Another
questions
first.
Lee has prepped for us. So, yes. Lee, over to you now.
So please do play along in the live chat, whether you're watching on your Facebook or Twitter or Periscope or YouTube. Even if you're driving along in the car on the motorway, please play along. Shout it out. Get it in the comments. The rules being is the
Not
lads.
if you're driving on the motorway, though.
Yeah,
Don't get it in the comments if you're driving on the motorway.
Yes, that's-
keep
yes.
your eyes on the motorway.
that's
Yeah.
what I meant,
Well
Rob.
noted, Rob.
Yeah, you keep me right. The rules is as fastest finger first and a point for the winner. If they
I really
don't,
want to see them fingers.
if they get it wrong, there's no shouting. Obviously, we're on radio. Don't want to have your ears taken off. Then go to whoever makes the quickest sound next to answer it. The lads I've all asked them to give them buzzers to play it, and you'll see it on the screens as well. And there's a bit of a twist, because I will now tell you that there is questions around the under 18s, around the under 23s, around the women's, and the first team as well. So good luck, lads.
Is the answer Jack Colback?
Paul, you're on
Should we
zero.
play-
Right, okay.
Should we play our buzzers before, so people know?
Yeah, Paul, let's hear yours.
Oh, come on, you put me on the spot there.
I'll
You play yours, Rob.
play.
Rob,
So this is Rob's.
I've got mine ready to go.
Do you want to go yours?
Yeah, mine's just a boring alarm clock. Yeah, we'll go.
And I went a bit classic.
I'm not going to lie, Paul's is the best.
Paul's is the best
Paul's is
by
the
far
best.
the Mario one.
Do I get a point for that?
Every time Paul.
Hey, I get a point!
Right,
Get
are
it
you
all down.
all ready? Have
you
your
get to throw a banana out the side of your car.
have your buzzers ready.
I don't
So,
listen.
question 1. Yoshinori Mutu scored the only goal in the 1-0 win over West Ham during pre-season. Who assisted him with that goal?
Jimmy Sterry.
That was
Oh,
Kyle.
come on. I got it in there first.
No, that was Kyle, but you need to let me point to it first. So, Jamie Sterry is the correct answer. It was actually an absolutely brilliant. It's probably one of his better
It
games
was brilliant
really
cross.
good.
Yeah.
that he has, and he whips it in. And there's Yoshinori Mutu firing, who also had a great game.
Geordie
last year as well.
Samurai.
The
So,
Geordie Samurai.
Kyle is on 1.
Oh, am I?
Right,
So-
somebody's are saying Hayden. No, it's not Hayden. Hayden set up the pass to go on the right, didn't he? Question 2, again, play along, get it in the live chat. Here we go. Newcastle signed Emil Krath from Amiens this summer, but which Serie A club did he represent before moving to League One?
Is that me?
And that is Kyle once more.
Bologna.
Do you reckon that he's right, boys? Bologna?
No idea.
I think it might have been Sampdoria.
Jack
It is
Colback.
Bologna. That is right. He's played for Bologna. Kyle is on 2. How are lads? Got to catch up
It's
now.
all these puns that you've melted my brain.
Paul's blaming the puns now. So,
Getting your
what you're
excuses
saying?
in.
Yeah,
I
well
enjoy
done,
it.
Matthew. Said Bologna in the comments as well. Basman said Parma, no, unfortunately, but yeah, it was Bologna. Question 3. Here we go. Another assist question. Hibs suffered a 3-1 pre-season defeat against Newcastle in late July. Joe Linton scored his first goal that night, but who set him up? That was the cockerel that time, which is Rob.
I thought I knew it.
Come on then.
I thought I knew it. It was. Was it Hayden? I don't think it was. He wasn't, was it?
Let's play again. Who's going to buzz in? You can't get a wrong question, so you may as well.
Oh, here we go. Jack Colback.
It was not Jack Colback.
Oh,
Kyle,
one of them's got
do
to
you
be Jack
want
Colback.
to have a
man.
guess at this?
I'll have a guess at it. I'm gonna
Let's have a
go.
guess.
It came from the right hand side, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Manquillo.
It was
It
Javier
was,
Manquillo.
yeah.
Oh, my favourite player.
Javier Manquillo was the
Is this
correct.
just a Kyle quiz? I'm
answer.
sorry, like lads, but I'm
Three.
romping home.
Wow, come on, boys. So yeah, it was Javier Manquillo, and Joe Layton slid on the volley, didn't he? Put it.
No, it was
Peter
crap
said
finish.
Put it
Richie
home.
on the
Yeah,
comments.
Paul, you were there. That's disgraceful, Paul.
I wasn't. I watched it on the. I listened to it on the radio.
Yeah, Paul.
To be
was
fair,
there.
I was probably answering questions about.
You were probably
at the
just,
time.
you were just probably wondering about trying to keep dry off all the water coming through.
Oh, it was bad, like wasn't the weather.
Right, then. Are we ready for question 4? Here we go. Miguel Almiron was the only Magpies player booked in the 1-0 home defeat against Arsenal, but who was the referee who issued that card?
Martin Atkinson.
Oh, yeah, Paul. Yeah, I'm calling you Paul. Yeah, Rob, spot
Oh,
on.
so that was a point for Paul. You
So when you press the buzzer, let me come to you first. But yeah, it was Martin Atkinson who gave him that. So well done, and everybody who's also answered the correct one before as well. Oster said Manquillo as well on the previous question, so well done. So far after 4 questions, we've got Paul on 0, Rob on 1, Kyle on 3. And we're going to go now to the halfway question to question 5. Here we go. Who replaced Ki Sung-yueng during the away game at Carrow Road?
Oh, I know.
Sean Longstaff.
Yeah.
And that is the alarm, and we'll come to you, Kyle.
Sean Longstaff.
It was Sean
Yeah.
Longstaff as well. Sean Longstaff replaced him.
hashtag.
And he didn't have a great game, to be fair, Ki Sung-yueng, that one. Very poor, probably one of his worst performances in Newcastle shirt. And Longstaff came on, and didn't he set up Shelby, did he?
He did assist.
Brought forward,
Great
didn't he?
pass through.
Yeah, he brought, and then Shelby scored. That was a horrible weekend away in Norwich. I mean, Jonathan went to that one. So, at the halfway stage, Kyle 4, Rob 1, Paul 0. Paul, we need to get you off the mark.
Well, I just keep saying Jack Colback. Is one of the answers Jack Colback?
I will give you a little clue. There's no Jack Colback question.
Oh,
Right.
that's terrible.
Paul's
that.
on 0 and he stayed on
So I'm
0.
going to Manquillo now.
Well done, everyone saying Longstaff as well in the comments as well. Philip is the new ones. Yeah, well done. Question 6 to come up with this now. Here we go. Who is currently top goal scorer for the under-23s this season? And that's the cockerel, which is Rob.
I'm going to say Luke Charman.
You're going to say Luke Charman. And we play it again.
Oh.
Play again.
It's still up for grabs. That was Mario.
Sangare.
It was not Sangare.
I'm going to go with Victor Fernandez.
Was it Jack Colback?
All yous are incorrect. It was Tom Allen who scored the brace against Fulham. Surprised you didn't get that earlier, Rob. That's basically active listening, so we have a 0.
Ooh,
So there's
so I
a,
didn't know that one.
yeah, Tom Allen scored 2 against Fulham in that 2-1 win. Right, okay, so we have 4 questions
Good that there's
left.
no Jack Colback questions in here, like.
Paul, you can only win and tie, so you need to get this
Oh,
one.
I did well at the last quiz, but see, Andreas Anderson.
No,
that's why I
you're
excelled in
showing
that
your
one.
true colours. Yeah, I reckon today, Paul. This is you at your finest.
It's been a long day going to this match and stuff.
Question 6. Here we go. I've already done that. Question 7. Tell a lie. Who was appointed as Newcastle's under-18s manager this season?
Oh, hey.
Lads are struggling for this one.
Oh,
He's came up from the youth ranks as well, and he was made under-18 manager over the summer.
Comments? Yeah,
We need buzzers.
extra point for Gryffindor, whoever gets that in the comments, like. So I haven't got a clue.
Any names, lads?
Nobody knows.
Is it all gone blank?
That's
Who-
another dud of a question, mate.
Who was appointed as Newcastle under-18 manager this
I'm done with
season?
quiz questions next time, I tell you.
And they've actually started to. It's nice to see them actually win 1 or 2 games as well. A couple of young stars, Lee Clark's sons in there.
I can't remember.
Mr. White is in the under 18s side as well. He's doing well.
Oh, he put out with misery. Who was it?
So we all saying 0 for that one.
It's nearly 8 o'clock, mate.
Right, okay. So the answer was Ian Winskill. Ian Winskill was appointed under 18s manager.
Yeah, right in the comments.
Big
actually.
shout out to Adam Taylor.
10 points for
spot
Gryffindor.
on.
Well done,
Really
Adam.
well done, Adam. That's good. Well
Sorry,
done.
Adam.
Neil.
Yeah,
Neil,
spot on. He's got.
They've got the power of Google, though. I do not.
You've got to be
Well,
quick
I
on
do,
Google.
technically, but it phone's off.
Which means we have 3 questions left. As Kyle's trying to say what they were, which means
No way.
he hasn't seen it. Don't worry. So we have 3 questions left. Rob, you have to get all 3.
No pressure, Rob.
No pressure. Right. Okay. You should know this. This one's an easier one.
Right, I'm ready.
Lee Charney revealed in a match programme Newcastle were in discussion signing Joe Linton, but what month did he say?
Oh.
Cockrell. That was for
I pressed
Cockrell.
play on my phone.
March.
Nope.
Was
That
it
is
February?
incorrect. We're back in play. That is the alarm this time.
February.
It was
Yeah,
February.
February.
It was one of
February
the
it
two.
was.
I knew that one. Goddamn phone.
Kyle goes on to 5 with 2 questions left. So
I
Kyle,
was
you've
about to
obviously
say
won.
February as well.
So we'll have a winner. So
Do
Kyle's won.
I just sit back now, or...?
No
one
one
likes to
go
show
and
off,
destroy
Kyle.
them. And we've got a place for 2nd and 3rd up for grabs as well. And anyone get that right? June says Philip knows way early on that. So remember, that was all the
it
carry
was
on
February.
with Joe Linton getting signed behind Rafa Benitez's back, and Benitez wouldn't have signed him. Chris Woff said here last week that he wouldn't sign him for 40 million. But the club went and done it anyway.
Yeah. I blame my phone on that one. I knew that one.
He blames his phone on that one.
I
people.
wasn't playing the song.
I would have got it straight away, but the phone cost me for Rob's as well. So.
Question 9. Here we go. Newcastle United Women were founded in what year? The Cockerel has come in.
2018.
So you think Newcastle Women have only been around a year?
Yeah.
We're back in play. That's not the correct answer. That is the alarm.
2015?
It's not that one. So
It's
Paul,
So,
you do get a shot.
it's going to have to be a guess, isn't it? 2013, I don't know.
Go on, Paul.
So question
Get
9
him on the board, please.
was, Newcastle United were founded in what year? See, what I'm trying to do is just drag it out, you know, because it's at the end of the show. It was in the
Don't say
80s. It was in the 80s, it was.
that,
It was 1989.
1989.
So we are all learning something here today.
I was 9 years old.
Wow, Paul.
That's quite a revelation here on the
Yeah.
Black and White Show.
I was 4.
9 years old.
I was 4. So Newcastle United Women were founded in 1989. So
I'd say it was the last question decider, but...
well, you've already won, so we know as well. Yeah, there's a
Probably
couple.
Paul.
Yeah, no, but
Couple of people have got that right in the comments as well. I'm
No, I didn't. I had no clue on that one.
really well done.
So,
So a couple of you have said 1989. So
have
that's
it. I
cracking.
think there's some Googling going on in the comments.
Ah,
though.
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
that.
I
Like,
think
I'm
so.
saying that.
But you've got to be very quick to do it. Question 10. Paul, you may as well just answer straight away.
Mangale.
Oh, yeah, we've got a confession from Adam Taylor in the comments.
What's he said?
I'll admit I straight googled that.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Oh, I tell you what. Top award for admitting it. Top award for admitting it.
Right. Question
many
10 and the final one. In Leicester's penalty shootout win over Newcastle in the League Cup, who missed their only penalty? That was the alarm that's come through.
Harvey Barnes?
Oh, okay.
Was it Harvey Barnes?
No, it wasn't.
Are you sure? He's very sure. It is. It was Harvey Barnes who missed Leicester's penalty.
No, it wasn't, Oi, oi.
It was Harvey Barnes. Look at Rob.
Kyle
Look at
Rob-
me. Rob, you can Google
Kyle
it if you don't
Robb's
believe me.
home was 6.
Yeah,
6
Philip's
out
got
of
it
10.
right. So he said Barnes as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm blaming all these points.
I hate to embarrass you, lads, but
Bit of a
just wrong
snake
home.
show that one.
I
Wasn't it?
toast, but I've got no water left. So,
Couple of absolute horrible stinkers in there, and
Yeah.
so
You know, that were as bad of a questions, right, as the ones that I asked you about the Champions League. Well, like yellow cards and stuff like that.
Paul got 0 out of 10.
I knew some of them, but I couldn't get the noise working quick enough.
Our quizmaster Rob, I'm disappointed in you.
Oh, to be fair, I think they were.
1 out of 10 on national.
I think the first question
Radio.
I got in there first.
I thought
So
you were
it
going to
was,
ask.
it was a split second, but I think I got in there first.
I thought you were going to
lost.
ask about Jocelyn.
And I got it right as well.
Still
I
got-
don't know if it comes, I don't know if it comes across as good on like the stream and the radio and things like that. This quiz, but I enjoyed doing it, and
No, I think
Is that because he won?
I think we should do this again, but
Never again. I don't know about you, Rob. I think never again.
I'd be happy to sort out some questions for future reference and relate it to some puns maybe.
No, that's not.
I thought my Andreas Anderson one was still the best set of
who
questions.
has the oldest dart in the current Newcastle United team? That's the kind of questions Rob looking for. Like.
Jack Olback.
They'll all be stack questions. But overall, yeah. So Kyle, well done. Congratulations. 6 out of 10.
Cheers,
Let us know how you've got on in the live chat as well, and in the comments. Let us know how many you truthfully got out of 10. Rob with a pitiful 1 out of 10. Sorry, Rob, but you've gone on live TV and got the Hostel question wrong, and now you've come. That
was the only one. That was the only one I got wrong.
You've come on to radio and got 1 out of 10.
Me. That was the only one I got wrong.
Yeah, we both smashed it in the radio shows. I mean, in the live studio, so in BT. And Paul, you got 0.
Next time you go to
I won
BT,
I
think. Do you know this book? This new book that Kyle's just got. I think you need to lend it to these two.
What on this day? It's quite a book, like.
You tripled their scores.
I'm absolutely totally disgusted that not one of them questions was about Jack Colback or you know what I mean, anyone like that.
Hashtag Paul out. He's got a thing for Jack Colback.
Hashtag Jack Colback out.
But Rob, all about you.
Over to me. Well, yes, we are just sort of winding down the end of the show. We have about 3 minutes remaining. It's been good, and yes, we do have a clip. One from yesterday's 4-0 win between England and Bulgaria. It's about Gareth Southgate and Harry Kane. So
he likes to dive.
Practice, yeah. We do a lot during the week, and then the day before the game, me and a few of the other boys will do quite a bit. So it depends. I always go with my feeling. If I feel I'm in a good place, it could be 10, it could be 50. It all depends on how I'm feeling on the day. But especially in a team like this, where we've got such explosive players and skillful players, we're going to get penalties throughout the campaign. So whoever's on the pitch got to be ready to take them.
But he has an incredible process, and we watch him do it every day. He took a lot yesterday, and we were very confident when we were sat on the bench, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant example for any youngster of mastering a technique, because you can see what he does, you can see the way he composes himself, and very, very difficult for goalkeepers to know where he's going to put them.
Well, it's great for him. He's taken his club form into his international form for the last couple of years now. So he's an amazing player to play with. Obviously, he set me up for a nice, easy one to begin with, and then I managed to repay the favour towards the end. So we enjoy playing together, as I do all the players. So hopefully we can continue the form.
Yeah, well, he'll be disappointed he hasn't got the hat-trick, I think, because he just thrives on scoring goals. I thought he was electric. I thought he was really carried the threat right from the first whistle. A real danger all day.
Of Harry Kane and Gareth Southgate. Now, interesting question for you is, do you think Harry Kane will beat Alan Shearer's Premier League record, and do you think Harry Kane can beat Wayne Rooney's England record? We have 50 seconds.
I think Rooney, yes. Kane, I think, might go abroad.
Real Madrid, maybe?
Possibly a bigger club, and if he goes abroad, I think he'll be there for a while.
Kyle?
No and no.
No and no. Paul?
Totally agree with what Kyle's saying, yeah, but I think, there's probably a transfer to Real Madrid somewhere in the offing.
Yeah, we've seen a lot recently that players like Jadon Sancho, they're really making a name for themselves in England. I know Harry Kane's already made a name for himself in England, but there just seems to be something more out there for English players. So that is it for the show. My thanks to you at home watching and through our stream, watching or listening live on radio. My thanks to Kyle Thompson, Lee Lawler, and Paul Rutter.
And Jack Colback.
Thank you very much, guys, and have a nice weekend.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.